Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be joined by Chris and Eric Martinez from dynamicfitpros.com. Chris and Eric, thank you so much for joining us.
Seth, thanks so much for having us, man. Appreciate your time and looking forward to delivering value to the audience.
Awesome. So you guys have a really cool business, but let's go back in time a little bit. How'd you get started?
Oh, great question. So that's a loaded question, but I'll go really quick into this story. So we actually lost our father at age 17 due to a car accident. So it was 3 days before Christmas, and we got a knock on the door at 2 a.m. And they had said he passed away, fell asleep behind the wheel. So that changed our whole our life. We lost our role model, father, everything. And Chris and I went into a dark path and turned to alcohol, turned into just getting into just a lot of trouble with the law. And our mom turned into alcoholic and started taking a lot of antidepressant pills. So going through forward in the motions of life, we're going through the motions. And then finally we just got into, health and fitness. The gym was our kind of gateway drug to where it really alleviated stress, anger, and grief. And ever since then, we just got plugged into just how fascinating it was to just change body composition, exercise, nutrition, everything. And we hired a mentor early on at the age of 24, and he changed our life and really just inspired us to just build our own online coaching business. And from there, we just kind of just took off and never looked back.
Okay. So I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
An incredible. I'm sure the longer version of that story should be in a book somewhere.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good. So I want to unpack some of that. So because you talk as fast as I do, so I want to make sure that people heard what you just said. So suffered can't even imagine how traumatic losing your dad at such a young age was.
Yeah.
Reacted in a understandably negative manner, and then ultimately found the gym. I love that you referred to the gym as your gateway drug when it was the positive drug taking you out of the depression and the darkness that you were in.
Yep.
Normally it'd be the reverse. So the gym was your positive gateway drug to reduce your stress and try and get through an impossible situation. And obviously it worked because you're both here, and more importantly, you transformed your physiques, your bodies, your health, your mental health, all of that. At what point did you go from I love working out and relieving stress to I want to do this professionally, let's say as a trainer?
Yeah, that was 2009, right? So 2009, that's kind of when we were really inspired. We took action. We started off as personal trainers back in our hometown in Northern California, did that for 2 years. And then we saw where the puck was going with the fitness industry. And again, we were still being mentored by our coach. His name was Dr. Lane Norton. And we saw that it was still early on. There was 2 of us, right? And we're like, we could do this together, especially with the passion and where we see this going. So 2011, that's where we actually started pivoting online, building the online business. And it was just over after that.
So you went from we're getting ourselves in mental and the physical shape was a bonus to we're going to help other people do the same thing, which makes total sense. I go from doer of the thing to helping other people do the thing to being a trainer. And then I think you sped past it. So I'm going to ask one more time. When did the light bulb go off and you say, did you build where you're building a successful training business and you said, we can help other trainers do what we did?
Yeah, that was 2018. So after doing about 9 years of like, personal training, online coaching, working with thousands of people, like the candle just kind of died off, for us. So we just got a little bit burnt out, and we saw again where the opportunity was, right? A lot of these health and fitness professionals don't know anything about marketing, sales, building a brand, social media, positioning. And we made so many damn mistakes in those like 9 years that we could literally accelerate the learning curve to help them build a 6-figure business.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I absolutely, that makes total sense. I love that you used what you made your message.
Yep.
Right.
100%.
You did hey, we made the mistake, so you don't have to, you can lightning round, just get through and just do the stuff that works. And then talk about how you've grown the business since then, because I mean, you've had kind of like a meteoric rise.
Exactly. Yeah. So about the past 4 years, that's the biggest thing we've been focusing on. And it's crazy, man. It's been like kind of a wild like journey these 4 years with this B2B coaching, because 2018 and 19, we did really, really well. And we did one-to-one like VIP coaching, about $6,000 for that. People would actually fly over to LA. So it was great because we used the proximity of living in LA, and they could actually spend the weekend out there, took them out for lunch, spent an 8-hour session with them breaking down their business. But then COVID happened. So nobody was flying over there. No co-working offices were hosting anything. So then again, we had to start from scratch and pivot to more of an online model, and then that was pretty good for about, 2020, 2021. But then again, it's just like inflation came, this recession's coming. It's just been a lot of just kind of curveballs being thrown, in this kind of B2B business. But again, Eric and I, we're fighters. We've had our back against the wall. This is nothing new. We're going to keep like just going inch by inch.
Yeah, and it was interesting with when COVID happened, Seth, just because I'm sure you can imagine just gyms shut down.
Yeah.
And people just freaked out. They didn't know what to do. Those that had no, awareness or just any education to go online and build an online business, they didn't know what they were doing. So yeah, there was a massive opportunity to help people. And that's when we were actually writing our second book. It's right there. It's called Rise of the Fit Pros. And we were very excited to launch this book, but then COVID happened, and it wasn't probably like the most successful, book launch, but again, we've made the best of it. We've learned to pivot, we've learned to adapt, and we're just really just like anticipating just whatever comes our way, we'll figure out how to get to that next level.
That is awesome. And yeah, I mean, I'm a martial artist, and my dojo was closed during COVID. And then they pivoted relatively quickly to, we're going to do online classes on Zoom, so that we can keep charging your credit card, because otherwise, why you're going to say, what am I paying for if I can't come in? It's funny. I personally had a mindset shift, because before then I had been frustrated. Like, it was something I liked, but it was something I was like getting through. And hey, even though, I'm a multiple black belt, it shouldn't be this hard. It should be easier. Our instructor's insane. We don't have to work that hard. But during COVID, I found the appreciation for, man, it's not the same doing it in my living room when I got a dog trying to crawl on top of me, and I got kids asking for stuff in the middle, and my wife and I are both trying to do stuff around at the same time, so that my total mindset shifted and said, the day I get back in, I'm no longer going to resist the training anymore. I'm going to figure out, how can I enjoy it? How can I thrive? How can I go through a 4.5, 5 hour second-degree black belt test with a smile on my face and absolutely love it?
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it's a completely,
go ahead, Eric.
Oh, I just say it's a completely different dynamic when you're doing it in person, as opposed to do it like over Skype or Zoom.
And I was just going to say too, Seth, that like, everybody that said like, gyms are kind of like gone and just like everybody's going to adapt to being at home and workouts. I think that's BS, man. Like, it's like you said, you had a greater appreciation for just like a gym setting, well-equipped, kind of just getting out of there, being a whole different like mental state. So I think even more going forward in this year, things are opening back up and people are kind of coming back around to pre-pandemic, And
they're craving the community aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge. I think my dojo's like a cheers, like at our level, it's a much smaller class. It's not a beginner class with 20, 30, 40 people in it. Like, we've all been in the same class together for years and years and years. Like, I spar cops every week. Like, we know each other. And it's so funny, when the masks came off, we had a big party. It was like, hey, I can see your face again party. Like, so how have, what are the most common misconceptions? Because you've grown multiple businesses. You grew the training business, and then you grew the trainer B2B business. What are the most common misconceptions you get from trainers about like why your stuff won't work or why they can't do it?
I think it's more just their limiting beliefs and false belief patterns. And it's more about just them with their poverty mindsets and scarce mindsets. It really is. They just they only know what they know. And it's just their capacity to think bigger and just really understand that, hey, like it takes money to make money. And more than that, the skill sets you're going to learn, it's just that what we're trying to do here, Chris and myself, is just that we've done so many certifications, like, nutrition certification, strength and conditioning, blah, 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 blah. But they yet to sit there and teach these practitioners the skill sets of marketing, branding, creating offers, knowing your worth and value, so many different things. So, when they come to us, they're so fixated on just like these textbooks and just this dogmatic thinking, to where I'm like, whew, it's tough because you're peeling back so many layers. So I think that if I had to answer that question, that's what it is.
I think you mentioned something really interesting. You mentioned about like the designations, the certifications, the letters after their name. Yep. They're focused on, if I'm hearing you correctly, getting better at their craft,
yes,
at doing what they do, which, forgive me, there's a whole business opportunity there for you on, selling marketing training, personal training, marketing certification, personal training, psychology certification, because it's their shiny object, right? They want it. They think more letters after their name will make them better, give them more money.
Yep.
But in reality, they need other knowledge that isn't about, here's how to teach perfect form for lifting a weight.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good idea.
How do you uncover because we see this in all of our listeners are entrepreneurs. They're all business owners. How do you uncover your clients' limiting beliefs, and how do you help them break through them? Because we all deal with that every day, no matter what we're selling.
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Oh yeah, I would just say, honestly, Seth, it's just conversation first, first instilling that belief, really having them understand how to create a winning belief system. And that's just, again, got to take action. You got to have faith in what you're doing, and just have to be resilient, and that's really what it is. I mean, I wish I had like this whole framework and this just like all this stuff, but I really don't. It's just about having that honest conversation with this person, instilling that belief in them. And it's just if they want to do the work or not. I mean, I'm sure you've known and seen with entrepreneurs that it's all about just like implementation. Like those that implement are going to sit there and reap the rewards. And those that don't, obviously they're just going to play that victim role and just make all the excuses of the world. And that's exactly why they never sit there and build those businesses.
Do you run?
I think another thing too.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Seth, just to add to that too, like in our program, like we start with a main pillar. It's called mind growth, right? And it's just it's another coin word for mindset. I just like mind growth because, again, mindset seems like it's like, stuck in, or it's like concrete being poured and it gets set, right? So you can't grow. Mind growth, it's like you're constantly getting 1% better every single day. But if we go into there, like knowing that they need to work on their mind growth, right? Break those limiting beliefs, become a better CEO, build the 6-pack in the brain, anticipate any type of hardships that's coming in business, then I think they're going to be better suited to be like, okay, if I do this, if my mind's not right, then how am I going to sit there and execute, a marketing campaign, get on a sales call, or even scale my business,
Absolutely. I think, how do you also deal with the fact that this probably comes into play in your industry and in a lot of others, that they think all they have to do is learn how to do the thing and they're good. I got my certification. I know how to train. I'm a financial advisor. I know how to manage sell investments, or I'm an accountant. I know how to do taxes. They don't go into that business thinking there's a business there, and that, guess what? You need to learn accounting. You need to learn taxes. You need to learn marketing. You need to be able to sell what you do. Yep. The accountant never's like, I thought I was being an accountant because I'm not a people person. I'm a numbers person. I don't want to sell a thing. And it turns out I got to get clients.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's delayed gratification, and that's in any industry, right? The social media has painted this picture and this perception of entrepreneurism to where it's like, oh, I can get you to 10K months. I can get you to 20K months. I can help you build a 7-figure business in 3 to 6 months. It's very, very misleading. It is. And that's what happens with a lot of our coaches that come into us. They're like, oh, I want to make $10,000 months, within a month. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a lot that goes into that. And, it's probably not going to happen. So we have to actually rewire your mind, understand that we're playing the infinite game here, not the finite game. And we're really just, again, stacking skills, and just, again, understanding that it's going to take some time, but it's actually a really great process once you actually go through it.
Yeah, I think to piggyback on that, with the delayed gratification too, Seth, I think it's an entitled mindset, because we live in a world where it's like you can get anything at your fingertips, right? With Uber Eats, and also too, so much information's at your fingertips on YouTube these days too, with books, audiobooks, to where people just think everything's should be for free. And that honestly like really pisses me off, because it's just like, it goes back again to what you said, Seth, people that pay attention, people that pay more attention, So it's like for them to even have that mindset where it's like, it should be free, or they're entitled to free, and then get results like that, like it just kind of blows my mind,
Absolutely. Well, you guys have come so far from where you started to literally changing an industry now. What's your biggest challenge?
I think our biggest challenge too, and this is something we're moving into more of this year, is more of an integrated licensing model, right? So for us, we've built so much content and intellectual property, like in our portal, to where we want to license this out to bigger fitness companies. So say like a certification company that has like 500,000, PTs or nutritionists or something like that. I would love to get into that model in a partnership to integrate that and license it out to them. So we can just kind of pump back on the brakes. It's like so much sales, so much marketing, you know what I mean? And we can just really fulfill and do what we're good at. And I just love the whole model of just partnering up with people and collabing too.
Yeah, it's just more, we're looking for more residual as opposed to just transaction. But yeah, I think it's the biggest challenge is literally just getting in front of the right people to have those conversations.
So you're talking, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're talking about like next level up leverage, where it's not one-to-one, it's not even one-to-many, it's one-to-many that is done for you.
Exactly. And for example, we've had a couple of conversations with like these big national certification companies, and it's really they have business programs that they're not the greatest that we've heard. So we're trying to have a conversation with them to, hey, we have a business program. We have a members portal with thousands and thousands of trainings in there that could help your guys as personal trainers. You guys can bolt this onto your guys' certification programs. It'll be a no-brainer. And we only take a certain percentage per each person, and you guys get lifetime access to this. We don't have access to your list, database, nothing.
Man, that's a nice, I bet that's a good offer. We just got to get you in front of the right people to pull the trigger. Yeah. Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
I just like helping these coaches out, man, because we were health and fitness coaches, and I saw the carryover effect that it did into people's lives. Not only because like someone's trying to get a 6-pack or get into a bikini, right? It's deeper than that. It's the carryover effect to like their mental toughness, being a better spouse, being a better, parent, maybe like getting a raise at their job, making more money, right? So it's the carryover effect on that. And it's like, there's only 2 of us, me and Eric, we could only help thousands of people. So if I can instill this into hundreds of thousands and millions of health and fitness coaches, and to have a ripple effect like that, to make the world a better place and think bigger and get all those results, that's what I love about it the most.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just helping these people grow in all aspects of life. Like what my pastor says, you have to grow there before you go there. So I think it's amazing. And I'm a token. I'm a student to the game as well too. I'm constantly growing. I make mistakes, and it's just about pursuing personal excellence. And I want these coaches to understand their worth and value as coaches, and to charge a high premium, and to understand that it's like, don't ever devalue what you do and bring to the table.
That is a writer downer, folks, right there. This has been Seth Greene. We've been here with Chris and Eric Martinez. Where is the best place for our folks to go learn more about you? And where is the best place for them to go and talk about the books? I believe there's more than one, and where they can go to get those.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's lessons in them, regardless of whether, even if you're not a fitness professional,
yep.
There's business and life lessons in there that make it worthwhile.
100%. It's all for anyone that has like an online service-based business. But yeah, check us out at dynamicfitpros.com. We have a great training there. It's our 6-step pathway to get to 10K months. It's free. And then just check us out on Instagram at Chris and Eric Martinez. Tons of great resources there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think our books are there too. And yeah, you guys can connect with us there.
Awesome. Well, we greatly appreciate your time. We know it's incredibly valuable. Chris, Eric, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Seth. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, everybody, for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level, but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.